Okay, this is going to be a quick tutorial for Microsoft Outlook for archiving, auto archiving, and backing up your PST files in Outlook. The general idea works like this, right? How do I get my emails after they're older than, say, 2 or 3 months? How do I get them off of the cloud, off of the server, so that they don't slow down or sort of completely fill up my email inbox, but are still searchable and have a way of being able to get to them later? There are a couple different ways you can do this, but the way I like to do it is here in mailbox settings. Clean up old items. So what this does is you can select your entire mailbox and it will create a separate PST file, and it'll archive anything older than that date, and then you can choose where it goes, right? So I kind of pick a place. I do this, I set a new PST file for every year, and I pick a place on my local server that this goes. I think the most important thing is, if you do this method, right, that when you back these files up, they're no longer on the cloud. So your emails you should copy that PST folder to the Office Support Service folder, so that if for whatever reason your local computer crashes, you still have a backup location that still have a backup PST file where you can go get those emails. Okay, so setting this up, right, you can go mailbox settings, you can run auto archive as in a brute force fashion. If I just say okay, it'll run. You can also do mailbox cleanup and say auto archive. That will just brute force run it. There is default settings, or just sort of auto archive settings in the default auto archive, right? And basically I tell my software to just run it every 14 days with these settings, clean out items that are older than 2 months, put them here, and that usually takes care of it. The only thing I have to manually do at this point is remember to copy it to the server. Alternatively, you could keep it directly on the server. I think that's fine too, whatever works for you. There is a small wrinkle with auto archiving folders. Every time you create a new folder, you have an auto archive option, and you want to make sure you turn the default auto archive function for that folder on. So there's kind of one that I knew I created that was new, right? Here's another one that's probably new. Lakeside Gardens is an older project for me. That one's already on. I haven't figured out how to get it to default to being on when I create a new folder. I suspect it might take its folder permissions from the root directory, but obviously the root is a little bit different when you do these things. So if anybody figures that little gem out and can let me know, that would save me a bit of time. I'd really appreciate it. Alright, last thing. After I've auto archived, I need an email that's older than 2 months. How in the world do I go find it? Open PST. I can go to my email, open the 2021 folder. It pulls up an archive PST. You can search it. It's got all it remembers every folder. It remembers your sense. It's all of it's in here, right? There's all my Skyline. Everything I've ever gotten from Skyline will be in here. I like this method too, as opposed to just saving emails directly into the job folder and that be the only way to archive, because this way it stays kind of in Outlook. They all stay together. They're all searchable. You get your sent items are all still in your sent folder. It's really clean in my opinion. And then when you're done with it, you close your archive, and that way your email inbox just stays. You could keep it, under a bazillion emails for any given PST file, right? Because when you're opening these PST files, your Outlook has to go and open something that's like 13 gigs large, you know what I mean? So eventually, especially if you get a lot of emails, it slows it way down. So this is just a good way to keep things a little bit faster when it comes to Outlook and a little bit cleaner. That's it. That's all I do with this stuff. Appreciate it.